Welcome to Literary AF Podcast.
Hola, mi amigos! That's right, I know Spanish. Welcome to Literary AF. I'm Sheldon.
I'm Danny.
And we are here today to talk to you about
Books?
our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
No.
That's right, it's a Christian podcast now. Buckle up. No, we're here to talk about books today.
Mm-hmm.
Danny, what are we talking about?
We're going to be talking about Trashed by Mia Hopkins.
Ooh.
And I just tried to pull up my Goodreads review to use as a reference, but Goodreads is now down. So...
That's right. We have now overtaken Goodreads in terms of popularity. At the time of this recording, we are more popular than Goodreads. That's what you said, right?
Not quite, no.
Okay.
Not totally. But, you know, we're getting there.
The app works.
That's what I'm trying. The app is working, but it's not letting me pull up my review on the app.
Oh.
Yeah. So, we're just gonna fly by the seat of our pants, I guess.
Oh my gosh. This one girl who I knew from high school,
Mm-hmm.
her Goodreads updates, she's updated like 6 books that she's like made to page 70 of The Confessions of Franny Langton, made to page 70 of some other book, made to page 60. Girl, how many books are you reading at once? How do you do that?
I usually have 2 on the go, but one is like my listen to while I'm at work book, and then my other one is the read while I'm at home book.
Yeah.
So, I can't do more than a handful of books. Like 1 or 2 books at a time is my cap.
Yeah, she's got like 4.
That's too many.
Far too many.
Alright, so Trashed by Mia Hopkins. This book came out 2019. It just came out like last month. I think only like
Came out yesterday.
not quite, no. I'm trying to think of when this episode will go up. We'll say last month. Give or take a week or 2.
Came out in June 2019.
Yes. This will be going up.
I've got your review up here for this.
Oh, well there you go.
The cover looks like Aquaman with a less hot face.
He's not quite as ripped as Aquaman, I feel.
He's pretty jacked, though.
He is, but Aquaman is Jason Momoa.
Yeah.
So, this book is... Actually, I'll just read the back of this book, because I do have that pulled up on my phone.
Okay, sorry. Did you hear that thing, like, on Twitter, like, a week or 2 ago about Jason Momoa being fat?
Oh, yeah. Some people were like, oh, he got fat. Well,
yeah,
not really.
A picture of him with, like, just not, like... a
Doesn't have
six-pack,
abs.
like he's not totally shredded.
Yeah.
He's just like got kind of a flat tummy in that picture.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, he's got a total dad bod.
Yeah.
It's like,
okay.
he's still Jason Momoa. He's still like the hottest dude ever.
Alright, so this book description.
Okay.
My name is Eddie Rosas, and everybody calls me Trouble. Since I got out of prison 6 months ago, I've had one goal: find my father, whatever the cost. My brother says I need to move on. He also wants me to leave our gang, the East Side Hollenbeck, and go straight, but I can't. Not until I uncover the truth about our family and its missing piece. One problem? I'm distracted. My distraction's name is Carmen Centeno. Smart, passionate, and tough as hell, Carmen is a woman from the neighborhood who's built up her career as one of the city's top chefs. She's a master of creating pleasure in both in and out of the bed. But when our connection deepens, how can I show her I'm not the trash everyone says I am? The pressure's rising. Carmen deserves a man she can depend on. And when ghosts of the past rise up, I have to outsmart them or lose my shot at a future with the only woman who believes in me.
I didn't know that the characters were Spanish when I did my intro. That was just a happy coincidence.
Yeah, actually that just occurred to me too. So, this book, I like this book. I'm trying to look at what I gave. I think I gave it a 4 stars out of 5 on Goodreads. And overall, it was really well done. It's the second book in a series. The first is called Thirsty, I believe.
Ooh.
So it's Thirsty, Trashed, and then there's another one that's name is actually not on Goodreads yet.
Cowboy Karma.
No.
Cowboy Player. Cowboy Valentine.
There's no
Mia Hopkins has a lot of good book titles.
Oh. I didn't know those were her other book titles. Those are not part of the series.
Cowboy Rising. Cowboy Resurrection. Hollywood Honky Tonk. Cowboy Cocktail. Cowboy Heat. Cowboy Overload. Sorry, I'm going to keep going until we run out of cowboys. Oh, that was the last one.
There you
Dang
go.
it.
This was my first book from this author.
Mm-hmm.
But I really liked the character's voice in this. I'm not sure if this is the way it is in her other books, but this book was written in a first-person present tense perspective.
Ooh, I love first-person present tense.
It's different.
It's the most exciting, I think, because when you have past tense, you kind of know the character is going to be okay. Like, if it's a first-person past tense, you know they're fine.
Sure. Because
they're narrating something that happened to them in the past.
Right.
But if it's first-person present tense, anything could happen.
Well, it's not a super common thing. I guess at least in the books that I read, first-person present tense is not.
No, it's not super common.
And this also, it's just Eddie's point of view. Whereas, like, with romance novels at least,
mm-hmm.
It usually switches back and forth between both main characters' perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't used to that, but it wasn't like, it didn't detract from the book in any way. Because sometimes, like, when it switches stuff up like that, it can get kind of distracting.
Mm-hmm.
But that wasn't the case, which is nice. It's not even really a complaint, I guess, about the book, but it's, like, the only thing that I think I would change about it is that, the book is more about Eddie and his personal story and trying to find his father, trying to get out of the gang and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
His relationship with Carmen kind of feels, I guess, secondary to everything else.
Oh, okay.
So, I guess I just wanted more of that relationship, because it's like a romance book. It's supposed to be, the main focus of the book should be the romance.
Yeah.
But this just kind of felt like the main focus of the book was Eddie and Eddie solving his problems, and then the romance was just kind of there in the background.
Oh, okay.
So, but the book was good. I enjoyed it, and I want to go back and read Thirsty, and I want to read whatever the next book is coming out that I can't remember the name of.
So we got Thirsty, Trashed, something that starts with a T that has to do with...
Tanked?
Oh, maybe.
I think it might be Tanked.
Because aren't they about a brewery or something?
Yeah, so the books revolve around these brothers who were in a gang and went to prison. And from my understanding, the first book is about the first brother who gets out of prison, is trying to go straight, and he's starting up his own brewery. And then this next book about Eddie gets out of prison, and Eddie's trying to, I guess, follow the same path. He has a bit of a harder time than his brother did.
Mm-hmm.
The book opens with him sleeping with a random woman, like, the second he gets out of prison, basically. And then it's like a totally... I guess he asks for her name, and she's like, no, we don't need to do this. We're just going to do this and then go our separate ways, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And then a couple months later, he starts a job at the kitchen, because he's working for, like, a temp agency. So he starts a job as a dishwasher.
Mm-hmm.
And surprise, the head lady chef of the kitchen is the woman that he slept with a couple months ago.
Ooh.
And they start flirting a bit.
Ooh.
And then they hook up. And then that's, like, I would say that's maybe about 30% of the way through the book.
Okay.
Maybe. And then from that point on, they're together, basically.
Okay.
And then the rest of the book is him solving his problems and stuff like that. Which is why I'm like, it feels like it takes a secondary spot.
Yeah.
Just because it's over with so soon, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But, I'm not sure what the next book is about, because there's two brothers, and then they have a third brother who's supposedly not involved in any of the gang stuff.
Okay.
So I'm wondering what's going to happen with him, but we'll see.
Oh, it's got to be that. It's got to be that brother comes back.
I would assume so, but I don't know. I'm looking forward to it, whatever it is.
I hope whatever happens, the other brother is super ripped and he gets the cover of the book.
That is probably going to be the case.
Pretty safe bet.
It's a pretty solid bet. Because looking at both covers side by side, there's a bit of a theme going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to get into, like, too much about this book, because it did just come out, like, a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know.
So who would you recommend it to?
I would recommend it to contemporary romance fans, I guess.
Okay.
I
Is there any
think-
book you would compare it to?
Not really, because I don't read a whole lot of contemporary romance.
Okay.
It's just I only have like a handful that I've read, so it's not like I can't be like, well, if you like this, then try this, because this is kind of one of the first ones that I did read.
Well, I definitely think you should add Hollywood Honky Tonk to your reading list.
Maybe I will. I'm definitely gonna go through some of the author's previous works and read some of that stuff too, because I did really like this one. So
Her Cowboy series, all the covers are like a nude couple in the background, kind of covered with like some cowboy stuff going on in the
oh yeah, I
foreground.
see that. Yeah.
There's like a man getting chased by a bull, or horses running, or a guy riding a horse.
Yeah, I see that.
They are very awesome covers.
I always like romance book covers. Just some of them can be so ridiculous that they're funny, and that's kind of what makes them charming. But there's one of the Immortals After Dark books that I really like.
Mm-hmm.
The book is about a werewolf and a witch, and the cover is like a very classic romance cover where there's a man with like a no shirt on, but he's wearing a jacket and he's embracing this sexy woman.
Mm-hmm.
And this man is very obviously supposed to be a vampire.
Okay.
Like, he has really long black hair and he's wearing a black trench coat, and they're standing in a graveyard.
Which one is it? Do you remember the...
It's Bowen and Mary Ketta's book. I just can't remember the title of it because it's like a really long... Wicked... I think it might be Wicked Deeds on a Winter's Night. Yeah. So if you pull up the cover, it's...
Yeah, I'm going through all the covers.
Yeah. Wicked Deeds on a Winter's Night. So it's like a very classic romance book cover, but they're standing in the middle of a graveyard. And he's very clearly supposed to be a vampire.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
But this book is about a werewolf, so...
He's just about to transform, baby.
Maybe.
Oh, that's weird how the books have, like... Krusty Cole's books have, like, a weird inconsistencies in the covers. Like, for the Immortals After Dark.
Yeah.
Like, if you look at Wicked Abyss, it's a way different cover than the other ones.
I think
or
that's just...
Wicked Deeds is way different cover than the other ones.
I think it's just, like, the times, I guess, because the earlier books came out in the early aughts.
Yeah.
And these newer ones came out just, like, last year and the year before.
Okay.
And they reissued, like, they reprinted some of the older books with new
okay.
covers, and they have just, like, the close-up face shots rather than the man bodies.
Yeah.
So
There's some that are man bodies, some that are close-up face shots, some that are weird, like, kind of cartoonish classic ones, like the one you mentioned.
yeah.
And also A Hunger Like No Other is kind of the same thing.
Yeah. I think it's like you're kind of seeing the progression of just romance novel covers through time as you scroll through this list of books. So, yeah.
Sweet Ruin is just a face and a feather.
Yes. Yep.
Oh, we're getting super sidetracked.
Well, that's okay because I didn't really have a whole lot more I wanted to say about the book. Because it's relatively new and I don't want to get into too many spoilers. But it was good, and if you like contemporary romance, you should totally check it out.
All right, and we are pretty early for time. We're only at 14 minutes. Do you want to talk about that other book that you started and didn't read?
Not really, because I want to come back to it.
Okay.
I think I just wasn't in the mood for
Oh, okay.
that kind of book. Because it was a much slower, also contemporary romance, which is not usually my book of choice. But I got an advanced copy of that. I actually got an advanced copy of that book the day before the book came out.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I need to read this right away, because the book is already out and they want this out as soon as possible.
Yeah.
But the book itself was really...
Well,
slow.
do you want to just give your initial impressions for a bit?
Sure.
Home Field Advantage.
Home Field Advantage by Liz Lincoln. Yeah. It's a second chance romance about a footballer whose name is Quinn and a sports journalist whose name is
Dancy.
No.
Natalie?
Natalie, yeah.
Dancy was a very good
You were
guess,
getting close, yeah. And they used to date when they were in college. And then one day she just like up and left him without saying anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then he had a huge drinking problem. He had to go to rehab. And then like 8 years later or something, they're reunited when she's writing a big expose on one of the members of his team. And that's kind of like the first 40% of the book. It's just them being thrown together in situations. There's a little bit of like, back and forth. I still have feelings for this person, but, you know, we can't act on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it just felt very slow going. But I read in some other reviews that it really picks up after like the 50-60% point.
Okay. I noticed it does have like pretty high reviews.
Yeah. I want to come back to it and give it a fair shot for sure, which is why I didn't give it like a star rating on Goodreads or anything.
Yeah.
I think I just wasn't in the mood to really sit through that for right now.
Oh, okay. I noticed on the cover, it's
also
a buff
half-naked
shirtless
man.
dude,
Yep.
but one of his nipples is very hard and the other one seems not.
His nipple is very distracting. That
Yeah.
was the first thing I noticed about that book cover, was
I don't
the
know
nipple.
if it's a lighting thing, but like...
I think it's just the way the light is bouncing off of his nip, honestly.
But like the shadow cast by that one nipple, like it's honestly like it's like an inch long shadow.
It's out there.
It's almost as long as his top ab.
It's a nipple. Yeah. I was gonna talk about, because it's July?
Yes.
It's July. So it's kind of like just past the midway point of the year.
Yeah.
I was going to talk about, like, you know, where we are as far as reading goals, whether or not you've achieved what you wanted to, what you want to do in the next 6 months kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So...
I can answer that really quickly with a no. I can't remember. What did I read first this year?
Something classic lit.
Guarantee. Yeah, I feel like all mine this year have been classic lit.
No,
well, okay, so I think I read I read Death Comes to Pemberley. That was
a little bit later.
Started with Don Quixote.
You did do Don Quixote.
That took a while.
Yes, it did, for sure.
Indifferent Stars Above, not classic lit. That one was 2 weeks. And then I read Death Comes to Pemberley. That took me so long, I think because I just wasn't super into it.
You weren't feeling it?
And then after that was Murder on the Orient Express, which was pretty good. Pretty good, but I didn't quite love it. I don't think murder mystery is my scene.
Yeah.
Then after that was Wuthering Heights, which took a while. And now I'm on...
David Copperfield,
which is so long. It's really fun, though. I'd recommend the first half of that book so far. But that's as far as I am.
What's your reading challenge on Goodreads this year?
I think I just have it set at 12. Like, I want to read one every month.
Okay.
But I think I'm actually basically on track.
Yeah. You still have, like, 5 more months, so you got lots of time.
Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see what I read next. I bought Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier or whatever.
Okay. What's that?
Oh, it's so good. Well, actually, I don't know if the book's good. I know the movie's good.
Okay.
But it's like I think it's like from the 30s or 40s. It's about a woman who she meets a mysterious like rich man in Europe while she's like a not a servant, but like she works for like a rich lady.
Mm-hmm.
And then she falls in love with the rich man, and they end up getting married, and she moves into his mansion. And in his mansion, everyone always talks about Rebecca, who was his first wife who died mysteriously.
Right.
And there's the movie at least has a kind of creepy vibe of like you don't know what happened to Rebecca, and you kind of think that maybe the husband might have killed her, and maybe the new wife is next. And then there's like a creepy housemaid who's like hates the girl because she's still devoted to Rebecca. And then you find out The ending of the movie, at least, is a pretty big twist, so I'm not going to say what it is, but basically there's more to the death than anybody knew, and yeah, it's a lot of... The movie, anyway, is very fun, very tense.
When did the movie come out?
It's Hitchcock's first American movies. That was like...
a while ago.
Yeah, it was like 50s.
Okay.
It's an
Alright.
oldie, but a goodie. What about you? What's your reading list like? You've read about 1,000 books so far?
No. My Goodreads goal for this year was originally it was 30 books.
Okay.
And then I extended it up to 50 books.
Because you've already hit 30?
Yeah, I'm at 38 right
Yeah.
now. So,
Oh, you gotta extend it one more time.
What's that?
You gotta extend it again.
Yeah, I
to
might.
70.
We'll see where I am in a month. Maybe I will. We'll see. My New Year's resolution was to get through all of the Cressley Cole Immortal After Dark books.
Oh, yeah?
Which I did. Last week, I finished the last one.
Oh, did you actually?
Yeah.
Wow, fun.
Yeah. So, Arlene and I are actually going to be talking about those next week.
Fun.
Because I did make her start reading them. And now
Perfect.
she's caught up to Lothair, which is the last one that I talked about. So
Mhm.
we're going to do like a recap episode and talk about her opinions on those books, because she definitely has a lot of differing opinions than I do.
Ooh.
And then we'll do Shadow's Claim, Shadow's Seduction combo episode after that, because those are kind of like an offshoot of Immortals After Dark. So those are what we're going to do next.
Okay.
Aside from those books this year, I've read the Twilight books.
Perfect.
I read Lost and Found and Safe and Sound. I read Rafe, the Austen Playbook, Red, White, Royal Blue, Band Sinister, Galaxies and Oceans, Team Thyssen, Desperate Measures by Katie Robert, which was like a modern retelling of Aladdin, but it's actually about Jasmine and Jafar.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Is it by the person who did Peter Darling?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's like a contemporary-ish. It's definitely less romance, more erotica.
Ooh.
So, not quite a romance book.
Spicy.
Yeah, it was pretty spicy. I read Beauty and the Beefcake by Pippa Grant, which is like a romantic comedy, which was really good.
Love it.
I've started the Brothers Sinister series by Courtney Milan, which is like not Regency, but 1860s romance series. Kind of, about like some dukes and your standard historical romance fare.
Fun.
Yep. And then I read Priest by Sierra Simone, which is another contemporary romance sexy book about a priest.
Well, that sounds fun.
Yeah. So I've been doing a lot of reading.
All right. Okay, we're at like 25 minutes. Is there anything...
I feel like there was something else that I wanted to say, but I don't remember now.
Is it about how books are illegal?
No, they're not illegal.
Oh, okay, good.
No, they're not. Definitely not.
Good, otherwise this would be very troublesome podcast.
Underground
very
book podcast. Nope. That's I think that's about it.
Ooh, fun. I'm looking through my Goodreads, and apparently I read like 35 books in 2017, and then like 11 books the year after, and it's like you can tell when an English major finishes classes.
Stops classes, yeah.
Yeah.
For me, it's like you can, if you look up my Goodreads like stats, you can see where I lost my last job.
Oh, yeah?
And there's no books at all, and then just it spikes upwards, and then it has been on a steady incline ever since. So, very distinct.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right, well,
Yeah.
I guess we can make this a shorter episode.
Yeah, it's a little short, but
Um,
didn't have a whole lot to talk about today. So.
that's cool. Where can people find us online?
You can find us on Facebook, Literary AF, Podbean, Spotify, YouTube, and iTunes, Literary AF. I'm on Twitter, LiteraryAFPod, and our Gmail, LiteraryAFPod@gmail.com.
Or else you can find us in person by coming down to 130.
Nope.
I was going to go until you stopped me. Yeah, we live in Winnipeg. You can find us on the streets or in
Assorted
parks.
street corners, yeah.
Bookstores.
Screaming angrily at things.
I hang out in public libraries sometimes.
You do?
And homeless people yell at me.
Huh.
It's a lot of fun.
I haven't been in a library in a long time.
It's great. Homeless people yell at you. Yeah, so find us, follow us on things. You can find me on PlayStation Network. I can't remember what my thing is, but add me. And yeah, tune in next week when we talk about Immortals After Dark or whatever.
Yep.
I said or whatever, because I wasn't 100% sure that's what Danny said before.
Yeah, Immortals After Dark catch-up episode.
Great, and so thank you for listening, and we will catch you on the flip next week. Perfect.